In a world with entirely too many shows about cars, this is another pointless automotive podcast.
Why, hello,
Greetings.
friends, family, Chadwick, enemies, former acquaintances, definitely dear listeners. Welcome to another pointless automotive podcast. We've got Chadwick here hanging out with us per the usual. How are you, good sir?
Yeah, thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, no problem. You've got this like flesh tone, khaki-esque button up. It's very stylish. You look good today, sir.
Thank you. Yeah, it's an old hunting jacket. So
That's right. The MILF Hunter continues. I'm still Frank. I'm still here. As are you. So thanks for tuning in yet again. How are you? You're doing good, Chadwick. You said you're
I'm
good.
hanging in there, man. It's been a week.
It has.
Super happy. 2024 is upon us officially because we're recording. This is our first episode we've recorded in that year. Dude, what was that noise I heard in your background, Frank?
I don't know. It was some kind of critter.
Some kind of microphone feedback that sounds like.
Yeah, quite similar.
I got it over here too.
It's okay. You know what?
This Miller Lite ages like a fine wine, my friend. I think these are from like a year and a half to 2 years ago at this point. Fuck it.
That's okay. It's just like you're absolutely like church mouse, dry and celibate on every other aspect of your life except for the podcast.
Absolutely.
That's the only time you drink and procreate. What I wanted to talk about today was neither. Exactly. Yeah, it's been sitting there. It's been like
it's fermenting.
double fermenting. Can you? I wonder if you. Well, no. I imagine.
No, you
probably could with like a home brew.
You just get diarrhea.
I'm just thinking, like, if you fed sugar to beer, like, could you like reactivate the? I'm sure it's like dead a million times over the various yeast that remains, but like. I don't think you can resurrect it.
Was that an industry term? Fed sugar to beer?
Feed it. Kind of. I mean, you can. That's kind of how you do. That's how you. If you make homebrew, that's how you carbonate it. Is what you do is you put it in a bottle, and then you it's called a priming corn. You put a little bit of extra sugar in there, and then cap it, and then it will continue to eat the sugar, and it force carbonates it. That's what carbonates it in the bottle.
I thought that was the first kernel of poop that comes out. Like the first corn.
The priming corn.
That's the priming corn.
Yeah. It's
also an industry term.
It's a different kind of preeing your pants.
Mm.
So what I wanted to discuss today was neither of the things we've already discussed.
Well, that sucks.
Goodness for everyone involved.
Yeah,
and that is there's a lot of cars in the industry right now that you can just go out and buy.
Yeah,
brand new stuff, right? Like that. And how often are we? I mean, we just had an episode discussing, the death of the full-size car.
Yeah.
And how often have we discussed, there's no more hot hatches and
truth.
There's a limitless number of cars and trucks and just vehicles in general that probably should exist. And so if you were king for a day, the god of the automotive sphere, what cars would you have exist that don't? I.e., what cars should exist? Cars, trucks, what vehicles should be available on the market today that don't? And you can go as wild or mundane as you want, is my thought here. Like, you can just say, like, I wish, I wish they made a 4-door version of the BRZ for some sick twisted reason. Like, okay. Or you can just cook up something completely bonkers. Like, I wish there was a Lamborghini pickup truck. Like, I don't know. That would be a terrible answer. But if you were God Emperor Chadwick of the automotive realm, what are you thinking? Like, is there something stuck in your craw of a kind of car that should exist but doesn't?
I'm gonna start off hot as fuck, my friend. You ready for this? A new Mazda MPV.
Okay.
Hear me out.
So we've talked about the loss of the minivan.
Yeah, we also cherish the MPV for what it was, being a truly multi-purpose vehicle. It was an off-road kind of tweaked minivan formula at first, very interesting minivan, but there's nothing like it now. We all have to be up in the air, right? We can't drive cars anymore. Cars are going extinct. We're not down with being close to the ground like that. We're not grounded to the ground
Not
anymore.
grounded to the ground.
Those Toyota fans out there, they know what I'm talking about. But the MPV, man, bring it back and like cherish, like come back with some boxy styling, make it kind of look like that first gen one that I actually like. Throw some cool 4-wheel drive badges or decals on there and just send it, dude. Like make it look cool, make it like super spacious inside and put a cool
almost
power
like
plant in it.
almost like a Delica, like a modern Delica.
I mean, basically, right? Because we didn't get the Delica in the States, but the MPV was like, it was cool in a lot of ways. And that 4-wheel drive system and the little bit of lift it got, the little bit of ground clearance, I think we could do that again, my friend. And that it kills two birds with one stone. It's a retro kind of affordable off-roader, and it's a minivan. Two things that really don't exist
Yeah.
anymore in the marketplace, right?
It's interesting. I briefly thought about, but I didn't note it down, mostly because I don't take notes, about like how cool the existence of an off-road focused like TRD, like a TRD off-road Sienna.
Right.
And this is similar, although the Sienna is all-wheel drive only, and I think it would be a little bit of a different focus. In my mind, what you're barking up, the tree you're barking up is right on point of an overlanding adjacent van. Like I think that would be brilliant because it doesn't exist inside the marketplace unless you want to spend $280,000 on like a sports mobile or something crazy.
Well, you
Which
know
is
what,
not what
man?
this is.
It's like a square shot at the enthusiast groups because you can hit the van culture folks because it's going to be
100%.
vanny, it's going to be off-roady already. You don't have to like trick it out, and it's a Mazda power plant, which is reliable and kind of
Yeah.
bringing back an old name, which is kind of cool. And I think a lot of people, not a lot of people, let's be fucking honest, but people respect the original MPV for what it was. It was pretty revolutionary and super cool in my book. So I think that could be cool, man.
You're right.
That should
No,
exist.
you're dead
It should
on.
exist.
I mean, think about you have the okay, so you've got the death of the minivan, right? And you've got the for lack of a better way to put it, the carification of the SUV. And there's been some recent pushback to capitalize on this perception of missing ruggedness and on off-road chops in some of these cars with stuff like the Outback Wilderness and the Forester Wilderness,
Right.
which in my mind you would have effectively that same level of like ruggedness and ground clearance, but from Mazda, which is well respected for building stuff that drives better than the average offering from other manufacturers, and in a minivan package, which I think the packaging of minivans is utterly undefeated. And so if you can give any Gen X, millennial, Gen Z idiot like you or I that are a little bit allergic to the concept of a minivan, and you butch it up a little bit, I truly think you would be like, hey, you're giving me an excuse to buy the best packaging available.
Right.
I love this idea. I briefly thought about it with regards to the as I said, the Sienna and like a TRD and a mild lift, but like I think the what you've mapped out is a better thought.
Yeah, man. Just starting off well here.
That'd be good. That's
How about
good.
you,
I
man?
like that.
What do you thanks, man. What do you think we need? What are we missing out in the automotive world?
Can
right
I want to vent lightly.
Okay.
And I want to touch on a subject that really every other human in the talk about car space has talked on.
Sure.
But we haven't, and we've avoided it like the plague. And I'm gonna mention it semi briefly, and that's the freaking Cybertruck.
Yeah.
So the Cybertruck is a thing, and I'm not gonna make some grand proclamation of whether I think it's dog shit or not, or I thought it was just gonna be vaporware forever, so its existence that's better than not, so that's good. I don't think it's something the world needs. What I do think is needed, and what that product should have been, irregardless of styling, keep the styling the same or not, I don't particularly care.
Okay.
If there was, and whether Tesla, let's just say Tesla makes it for the sake of this argument here,
Right.
that product should not be what it is if you want to take all that same technology
Mm.
and radical styling, but in a Maverick-esque form factor and different and usability, so a truly compact truck, how many people are going to actually tow with a Cybertruck?
No one.
Under 1%.
Well, that one that
So
did
I
it
don't,
and failed, I think is the
or
only.
just like I don't. It's a status symbol, and so I think, which is okay. Like plenty of cars that we really enjoy are status symbols, and that's fine.
Mhm.
Um, even if you wanted to keep the loud styling and the stainless steel panels, which I think are absurdity, and the fact that they're claiming it's structural is going to be absolute nightmare fuel when any of those cars get damaged and they have
Mhm.
to be put back on the road under the guise of insurance. Because if they're claiming it's structural, you put a door ding in it and now you got to replace it because it's a safety concern.
Yep.
There's a lot about that vehicle that is going to be problematic for the next 15 years when they're on the road.
Yeah. If 15.
If it was, hey, let's take all the cool stuff and the tech and whether I like it or not, right? Steer by wire and 48 volts and things like that. Like, okay, cool, whatever, minimalist interior and bulletproof. Okay, fine, don't care. But if you took some of that stuff and just like, hey, let's make a Ford Maverick competitor, and you make it half the weight, not half, make it 70% of the weight, 75% the weight
Mhm.
and the size and the mass, and you drop it lower so it's not up in the airstream, so it's not you get better range, and you just do it smarter. You take all of this cool engineering stuff and you put it in a package that people will buy. I don't care if a million people put $100 deposit. That's pointless. It's nothing. There's not a million people will not get Cybertrucks.
Right.
It's just it was for people to say they put $100 down on a Cybertruck to live that status symbol that maybe they one day will get. But the fact that there's not a Maverick competitor, and whether that's hybrid or full EV, is bonkers. And I think if they took that packaging and that tech Tesla did, and they made a, and maybe they will make one day, but it's just such a better thing that is needed by more people
Yeah.
and is more beneficial. Like if that's their mission statement, is like, hey, we're saving the planet by making green cars. Like Cybertruck doesn't do that. Like so,
Yeah.
I don't. That is something we need. And the point of this was not to shit on Cybertruck, because there's pros and cons, and I've never touched one, so like I can't really speak on it or get cut by one, I should say.
Mm.
But yeah, like there needs. Why isn't there an EV compact 4-door truck with a 5 or 6 foot bed?
Yep.
Toyota can make this tomorrow. Like imagine if there was
Literally.
a Prius based Ute.
Yeah.
That would kill a plug-in EV. You get whatever, call it 45 miles of range.
Mhm.
That's all so many people do with these compact trucks. They're going to the dump and back on a weekend, or they're like, have it not cost 6 figures, have it be 40 grand. The fact that that's not on the market, there has to be a reason why, because it seems like such a silly no-brainer.
Yeah.
But that's what I would do. I would have the Cybertruck be reasonable, and I would have Toyota have a Prius Ute. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe that's too practical. I don't know.
Yeah, you know what? We had the truthfully, and I have another thing on my list, and I'm not going to count it as a whole category because you already covered small trucks. But my wife and I commuted together today to work, and we were behind an early '80s S10. I'm sorry,
Bro.
early '80s Ranger, which is pretty much the same form factor of an
Mhm.
early '80s S10. And we both looked at each other like, it looked amazing. Like it was the silver and blue and
So,
it just
oh,
looks
dude.
so good, right?
Yes.
But anyway, the form factor, it's just like, and we're both, and then we look at her, there's a Tacoma at a stoplight, which is not a big truck next to it. And
Whoa.
the Tacoma looked like Bigfoot, like the
Yeah.
monster truck. And we just said, why don't these exist anymore? And the reason being, I think, is trucks are like a symbol, right? Like I need a truck. It needs to be
Yeah.
substantial. It needs to carry some mass with it. But dude, how functional were those little trucks? Like the S10 was
So good.
fiercely popular when it came out, and it could haul quite a bit of stuff. Like most people don't even use a full size truck bed, and it was more fuel efficient, and it was
Mhm.
smaller. You didn't have to have like a class
Yep.
like one of those jumbo dump truck driving licenses to drive the damn thing around. But the same thing, like you're saying, man, like take the old S10 design or that old Ranger design, make an
That's
EV and just like kill it. The
or
range would be insane.
And I think first on, you're absolutely onto something, and absolutely like the fact that there isn't a true compact truck.
It's wild, dude. It's
it,
absolutely wild.
and like, and I'm happy to spend time on this because it's maybe the most glaring hole in
It's
the
crazy.
market.
Yeah. Well, so you got the Maverick, you got the Santa Cruz. I know it's not a truck, guys. I know, and both
Right.
of them are unibody, right? So I know they're
Which
not officially trucks, but Maverick's
I'm
closer.
okay with that. Yeah.
Yeah, right. But like, they're still not small. You park an old original 80s, not original 80s Ranger or an 80s
Hmm.
S10 next to those. It looks
Yeah.
huge. They're like jacked
Well,
up
hard
off the
body truck.
ground.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Nissan Hardbody, another supremely undervalued truck in today's market. But dude, exactly. And the use case is fantastic. Better on fuel. I mean, modern fuel economy engines, you could put a nice little fuel efficient engine in there. It doesn't even
Hmm.
have to be an EV. And you have
Direct
a
injection
hell.
gas, 30 miles a gallon.
Right. And if you're doing like hybrid or electric, you put the weight right over the back tires in the bed.
Hmm.
Lay it nice low, nice and flat. Center of gravity will remain the same. Ooh, I don't know. I think it's too easy, man. Why not?
And 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 so two things real quick, because I an important point that you made is, back to the status symbol thing, is,
Ugh.
whether it's people doing like bumping Georgia, what's that awful pop country group from like 10 years ago,
Oh,
Florida Georgia Line, like bumping them, and just like, having some pseudo offensive bumper sticker on the rear,
truck
and
nuts.
having truck nuts and chrome deep dish wheels,
Ugh.
and then pretending that they go off road, but they've got like super like mud terrain super swampers that are down to the cords. um but and so yes, there's a
Mhm.
whole, like, it's a commercial, it's a blue collar statement or whatever, and that's cool, okay, fine, like, go for it.
Yeah. Yeah.
um but there's a way you can, I truly think a manufacturer could do that even with a unibody truck,
Of course.
or just a compact body on frame truck. I mean, those were deeply cool.
God.
Marty McFly drove one in
Yeah.
1985, like, and that was a very cool,
I mean,
like,
body
status
on
symbol
frame,
machine.
Geo
And it was
Tracker Suzuki Sidekick or body on frame. You can go pretty small body on frame and still have it be a trucky
absolutely.
truck, you
and
know?
and and so, if for whatever reason, whether it's cost of manufacture and platform sharing, or crash restrictions or whatever, makes it so you have to make it a unibody thing, like, okay, um you know shoot, if we can do it conceptually with a minivan, right, that we just did for the MPV, you
Right.
can do it and butch it up and have it be like, not like this anti-masculine thing, if that's what it takes to get it to market. But um like, imagine, Nissan currently is kind of an also ran right now in
Mhm.
general, but certainly in the world of trucks, right?
Yeah, the
You know,
Frontier, the
the Frontier, the Titan has come and gone, and then come, and now it's gone again.
Mhm.
And so, if they made either recall it the Frontier or call it another truck, I don't care, give it a whatever
Yeah.
name. But if Nissan said, like, okay, we can't, Toyota's perpetually stealing our lunch. We used to be a true competitor to them in the 80s, in the
Yeah.
90s. We are not now. How can we do that? And they said, okay, we're gonna put our eggs in the true compact truck basket, and made a 4x4 compact truck that you can get in a standard cab, that they can sell to municipalities and park and recs departments and things like that. Um, in addition to making it interesting and off road, or just like courier truck type stuff.
Yeah.
I think they could put their name back in that market, but
Bring it
they're not there.
Dude, bring it back. B2000, put the 2-liter Sky Active engine in there.
There you
Let's
go.
go, buddy.
Boy, we've got grand plans for Mazda, don't we?
We're saving it. Saving a company that doesn't need saving.
Yeah. They need to save us.
Mhm.
What else you got kicking around? We kind of we shared that one.
Yeah,
We
that was
split roasted
definitely
that one.
uh, what I had on here is a truly modern boat. We do not have
Oh, that
like
meant an actual boat.
no, like actually,
Chris
is
Craft.
something huge. And so right now, even with our most opulent, luxury-minded sedans and big cars, I feel like we do sporty stuff where we don't need to do sporty stuff. I think seats have gotten incredibly sport centric. We need super good bolstering and they need to be hard as a like school chair from back in the day. And that's not the way I want my ass to be anymore as I age. I need more cushion for the pushing,
True.
if you will. But
Mhm.
also the ride quality, some of these like super sedans pretty sensitive over like different imperfect road surfaces. They don't float like the old land yachts of old. And I think we bring that back, man. I think we put the lazy boys back in, man. We put front bench seats back in, and we slap a goddamn Cadillac badge on the front, and we save Cadillac while we're at it because they can't sell shit right now anyway,
No.
unless it's an Escalade or a CT 4 or 5 Blackwing.
XT6. That's still in production, right? I don't know.
Who even knows, right? But
The Lyric,
bring back the land yachts. Bring back the land yachts.
just in general, like the Royal land yachts, just like one of every shape and size. Save
Yeah.
Lincoln. You know what? I'm on board with that. The addendum, and I'll tie this into, because you're not wrong. And I think if we're going to live in a world where everyone's driving giant SUVs and not giving a rip about fuel economy in that regard, you take that same ethos, and in a sedan, it's going to be even a little bit more economic.
Yeah.
So if you have your monster, I'd love to bring the bench seat back type.
Hell yeah, dude.
Front bench. Let's go.
Let's do it.
Although I just hustled an '04 Grand Marquis with a front bench in it down a side road the other day, and I was sliding all over that thing. It was just like, oh, I can't do this.
That had to be one of the last applications of a bench seat in a car.
You know where bench
Gotta be
seat
pretty
ish
close.
is? I know on the new Defenders on launch, you can get a third seat, middle front seat,
Oh, okay.
where it's like it's like a fat ass center console, and it flips up, and it's even got a high back.
Yeah, that's
So
not
you can-
quite the benchy feel because there's still buckets on either side. So
I don't think it's that buckety though. I don't think it's bucketed.
I'm
I don't know.
talking like straight up bench slab, like slab, back
There's
and
not
bottom.
even an armrest in the middle.
Hell
It's just
no.
yeah,
There's
like an
not
old taxi.
seatbelts. Fuck it. No, send it. No seatbelts.
But yeah, no, those are great. And one thing, it's similar to one thing I have on my list, and I would tie that into yours is and this is fairly we just did practical with the small truck, and this is going to be both practical and impractical. I want a Lexus LS wagon. I want the LS. I want an LS, a new Lexus LS. I want every generation Lexus LS, if I'm being honest. But
fair enough.
If there was an LS wagon,
that is literally the boat we're talking about. I think
that's what I'm saying. Like you go full, like this is like a current full size offering in wagon form, and that is what I think the family truckster style big ass wagon. And maybe there's some legal reasons why you can't have the jump seat in the back anymore, but I want the damn jump seat.
Yeah.
Well, Tesla was able to do it with the Model S, right? Like, give me the
there's ways to do it. Yeah.
Give me the damn jump seat in a Lexus LS wagon. But yeah, the full size sedan and the full size wagon. Who knows? Maybe as the world becomes more electric and more cafe centric, the realization that you can lose 15% of the weight and 15% of the height of an SUV and have yourself a full size sedan.
Right.
I don't know.
Wagon even.
They're classy. Wagon me. Rock me, mama, like a wagon wheel. As a was it Hootie or one of the Blowfish? I don't know who got writing credit for that song. Actually, neither of them. I believe that was no, it was honestly Bob Dylan. Bob Dylan actually wrote that song.
That totally always gets mixed up with Hootie and the Blowfish. Is there?
Yeah, well, it's
Lady Lay often gets confused for being a Hootie. Classic.
Boy,
how about this? This is a car that existed in prototype only. And also shout out to fucking all the concept cars out there. I don't even want to get into if every concept car could be made. God, we'd be in heaven because I know we love concept cars. But have you ever seen and this is the NA Miata coupe?
Ooh.
Not a hardtop convertible, like the straight up coupe they designed.
I have seen those. And side note, I saw for sale yesterday a Solstice GXP 6-speed coupe. which was like super, super, super rare.
Yeah, those are super nice too.
Yeah, they're asking like 35, which actually seemed like an okay deal.
I think the Sky looks better. I would get a Sky
Right.
Redline manual myself.
They never made a Coupe Sky though.
No,
By the way,
no.
can you hear the humongous collection of sirens in my background?
If I listen really hard, a little bit.
No,
Not that bad.
okay. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like the sky is falling around me, but that's okay.
Cool. Yeah.
Um,
Carry on.
real life.
So the NA Miata Coupe, which I've actually been like right next to at the Miata reunions. It came in this mustard, like honey mustard yellow, and it was so cool. It was a little flared out. It was an early NA car, and they even said coupe on the side, MX-5 coupe, and there was just something about it. It looked just right. It looked so cool, and I think a modern ND Miata coupe where they can add that rigidity with a roof on there and kind of like change the body a little bit, kind of like they did with the M coupes from the M Roadsters.
Yeah, this was it. The profile is very like Z4 coupe.
I think there's a margin for those if they made and make it hardcore, go all the way in like a more rigid suspension because it's already going to have like a more rigid body and just like go all in and make it like a real track weapon is what it would be. I mean, you lose like the Miata's party piece being convertible, but so did the M coupes and everything, and they're still like a cult icon. So I think the Miata coupe in production, even with the modern ND2 iteration, would be so cool.
That would be cool. Make it like
I'd get down on that.
Like a Subiota twin competitor,
Hell yeah, dude. And just it'd be sweet. That'd be a sweet car.
That would be cool. It's funny. While you were talking, I just looked up the image of that yellow one, and it's got those like, do you remember the Momo, like Ferrari F50 style wheels?
Mm-hmm.
That's like the wheels that it's got on it.
I have a ton of awesome photos of that thing because it's always at the Miata reunions, and it's so cool. I think they made a couple of them, and they always bring them out, it's just so cool to see. Like it just looks right. It's something about it just looks really good. So I think that'd be fun. I think it would sell too, which is funny. I think that car would sell.
I'll piggyback off of that. I wish there was a true Miata competitor.
Oh,
because there just isn't.
Well, like Frank, here's your question though.
Mm-hmm.
Who's going to build it?
That's what I was going to pose to you.
Oh,
I think.
Ooh.
Okay, here's my thought.
All right, you go and then I'll go. I'll think of it over
because I have two different answers here. I have a who should build it and who would build it.
Okay.
I think the who should build it is Toyota. I think Toyota should build it, and whether they build it as a new MR2 Spider or and make it mid-engine or make it front engine and resurrect the Celica name or something like that. I think they should. I think there's a near 0% chance that they would.
Yeah.
But I think they should. Who I think would make it? Hyundai. I think they are a gambling enough bunch. I mean, they made the Veloster, which should have never seen production, but I'm very glad that it did. They made the Kona N, which shouldn't have made production, but it did. They're still making the Elantra N. They've got this N brand that they're leaning on a bit, even though the Kona N is now dead. But they've got the EV6 N,
right? Yep.
They're talking about they're going to make a limited run of this N-Vision 74 concept car that they made. They're going to make
so cool,
really dope. And so they are seemingly willing to take chances, and they've got that 2-liter turbo motor in their stable that seems to be about one of the only products of theirs that doesn't blow up. So I think the likelihood of somebody making one would be them, and I think that could be really fun. It might not be reliable. It might get stolen perpetually, but it could be really dope. So I would put if I was a gambling man and I had to pick like who's gonna, it would be them. Who are you thinking? What would you?
I got two for you, buddy.
Hey.
Europe takes it back because Mazda stole it from the Europeans, right? So how about Lotus makes a modern Elan?
That'd be sick. I thought you were going to say Jag, which would be sick.
Would be super cool. But yeah, more like the Elan's a lot closer to the Miata and what they benchmarked a lot. So I know it'd be really cool for them to try to take that back. But realistically, let's go with Honda. They don't try to do the S2000. The S2000 was quite a bit larger than a Miata, so I don't think that's a direct competitor. but we make a S1500, and it's a harkens back to the S600s, the smaller convertibles, and we put that 1.5 liter turbo out of the Civic Sports and SIs in it, and just have a really cool rear wheel drive, smaller convertible with a little 1.5 turbo. I think that slays. I think
It
that
could,
would be
yeah, and I
very
think
popular.
I think it would, and I think it would
Oof,
be
Frank.
what's cool with that is the S2000 didn't do an enormous amount of part sharing with other things in the Honda lineup.
Did
The,
not.
the engine was bespoke, transmission was bespoke, all of the suspension
body.
components, the body,
Completely
really
different.
outside of like interior trim and probably the motor in the power mirrors and stuff like that. It was all pretty bespoke to that car, and
Yeah.
and the price reflected in it, and the product did. I mean, it's a really great product, but the magic sauce of the Miata is that a lot of that stuff was either like product shared or just tweaked off of other bits and pieces from other vehicles, whether it be the motor, transmission, all kinds of stuff, right? The kind of the backbone, chassis bracing and stuff like that. And that helps keeps the cost down. That's why the original MR2 was so successful. It was a mashup of stuff, like the platform sharing worked. And so if you're going to make them beyond a competitor, I think that's what you need to do. And that's what you're proposing. And so I'm in favor of that. I think that would be great.
Think of it though, man. Think if we use that retro styling of like the S600 and we kind of build that into a modern platform, keep it small, keep it lightweight. I think keeping it lightweight, we got to hit the Miata curb weight because the S2000 is quite portly compared to a Miata. So I think we get down 2,300 pounds or less. Rear wheel drive,
but you can do it.
Yeah, 6-speed manual rear wheel drive, pure 2-seater, small dimensions, high revving turbo engine. That's super fun.
I want a manual soft top. I want to keep the weight down.
Yes, everything like a Miata, right? Like sign me up for that.
Yeah.
That car. Yeah.
And
tell me they wouldn't print that thing would just print money for Honda. I mean, honestly.
Yeah. No, it would do very well.
That would work.
Question though. If Lotus is going to make the Elon, if Tesla made a competitor, would it be called the Elon? I think they should do that. And everyone, yeah. Well, I don't know. I don't know if a small convertible can like talk fascist things on Twitter, but you know, who knows?
God bless it.
The God, yeah. Can we shoot it into space, please? It is weird thinking about Lotus and how they're about to have their quote unquote full size, whatever, their compact-ish sports coupe, which I'm in support of. The Amira, by all accounts, is a wonderful machine, and then an SUV.
Yeah,
but not a small convertible.
True. Yeah,
like that a world a Lotus a world of Lotus without a small lightweight convertible is a world that I don't think I want to live in. Yeah. And so you're right there. Like whether we call it a Miata competitor or not.
Yeah.
If they made a $70,000 lightweight convertible, I'm in support of it. Hell, make it carbon bucket. Like make it pricey. I don't care. We need a world. We need a world with that in.
I'd love to take a shot at making like a retro looking British roadster. I think that would be pretty cool. And I think, the press would go crazy about it. And the looks, make it, keep the price down, keep it simple, make it a good motoring vehicle, have a lot of electrical gremlins in there and have an unreliable power plant. And it'll be brilliant. Traditional Lotus, right?
Yeah. Have it like,
do not put a Toyota power plant in there, guys.
No, that's what I was going to say. Have it loaded up with all kinds of manufacturers nonsense. I want Mazda taillights and I want,
oh God,
yeah. I want
Miata pop-up headlights in the front. Bringing them back.
Diablo headlights. I mean Z32 headlights. I mean, you got any before we kick this can down the road? You got any last parting gifts?
Yeah, parting shot. Big swath cut in the conversation here. Fun Akana boxes in general, dude. Like affordable, semi-spicy fun cars. Here's where I go. Here's where I go to my safe space, my happy zone. Escort GTs, Cavalier Z24, Sentra SER. Where the hell are you guys?
I don't know,
Frank,
man.
where the fuck are they?
I don't know, man. They are.
I need them. You need them
in your life?
I need my spicy shit boxes to come back. That's my big general thing. I think we all agree those were awesome. And God, they don't exist. They're gone.
No, they don't. And I think, which is a shame. Uh, if you were to pick one manufacturer today to just like snap their fingers and have one that doesn't exist, who would you pick? Because right now you've got the Grolla, you've got the GTI. That's it, right?
Yeah.
Are there any other hot hatches?
Uh no, yeah, that's kind of it, right? The Civic Type R, but that's not really affordable.
And it's I struggle to call that a hatch, like a hot hatch.
It is a stretch. Absolutely brilliant car though.
Sure. Oh
Would
yeah,
kill
for
to
sure.
have one. Yeah. I'll
But
take
I
the
want to,
I'll take the Integra Type S. Honestly, if I'm gonna have one of those.
yeah. But if and I'd probably go GR Corolla today. But if you were to snap your fingers and have a manufacturer, player 3 has entered the game, and like
Yeah.
hop in and like snap their fingers and have a new offering, what that doesn't have one today,
Yeah.
who would you pick? Like, would you go like,
Nissan,
hey,
Nissan, my
go to
friend.
Nissan? Or
Sentra
would you go
SCR.
Pulsar?
Sentra
Oh,
SCR
Sentra
coming
SCR.
back.
Okay.
Yep. Keeping it
I-
NA this time. They did the Nismo, which didn't succeed, which was a turbocharged Sentra, and that was supposed to be their spicy one. We bring back the SCR, more like the B13, super simple.
Mhm.
Maybe make it a little retro design, kind of like they did with the Z. We know they have the styling. Bring it back and keep it affordable. Something fun for entry level enthusiasts.
I think I'm gonna take the easy route here.
Hmm.
Why is the Mazda Speed 3 gone?
Yeah.
Why
Good question.
why can't we just have a Mazda Speed 3? We've got a Mazda. We've
Well,
got a turbocharged one.
Yeah, Mazda 3 Turbo.
We've got the Mazda 3 Turbo. Can we just, I mean, the Mazda Speed brand is completely dead, which is a shame, but like,
Correct.
bring it back. Bring it back.
Yeah.
Just have it be like 300 and put a manual box in it, 350 horsepower, call it good. Send it down the road.
Yeah.
You know? Come on, man. Come on.
Come on, guys. But
Come
yeah,
on.
I think we hit some good stuff, man. I think everything, what a perfect world if everything we just mentioned does exist.
Super quick parting shot.
Yeah.
We need a second gen element.
Oh, how is that not still around?
Or a
How is
second
the
gen
Element?
Aztec. But no, second gen element.
I might have
that
some
is-
answers for the Aztec, but the
Exactly.
Element especially was so goddamn utility focused, dude.
Is it Ferdinand Cortez? Is that why the Aztec is gone? Manifest Destiny is what took out the Aztec. But yeah. What a world we would live in if we can. Oh, there'd be all kinds of other stuff. There'd probably be famines around the world. There'd be stuff that we would forget and ignore because we'd be too busy dicking with cars if we ruled the world instead of actually like doing proper things.
Well,
But hey,
you know what they say: you let something in, you throw something out, man. I'm willing to make sacrifices.
exactly. Yeah. Literally throw a baby out with bathwater in order to have the resurrection of the Aztec. Anywho,
Into a volcano.
Exactly. Joe versus the volcano, underrated movie.
Rated just right.
Yeah, well, probably. To be fair, I haven't seen it in a very long time. I feel like it had a long stretch where it was like in perpetual rerun on Comedy Central on like a Saturday at like 1 p.m.
Yeah.
Anywho, I think we've got games to play. Reindeer games.
Hello. A little Fleck in there, a little Ben Affleck action. He was in
Yes.
Reindeer Games, right? Am I remember that movie correctly?
You know, I've never seen Reindeer Games.
Hey, well, I think Ben Affleck's in it.
There you go.
Almost
All of them?
certain. Yeah, all of it.
All of them.
So,
So,
JLo Express. Yeah, I'm gonna get
well,
the ad up. Why don't you
you
explain?
you cue yourself up. I will explain what in the world we are failing at doing, and that is our print ad quiz game. In this particular showdown, Chadwick here is going to find himself an advertisement from some sort of print media from the 80s, the 90s, to the early 2000s. He's going to read the type copy from that, redact out any overly identifying information, and will be incumbent upon me to, within 3 guesses, try and figure out the make, model, and ballpark year of this particular vehicle. I get 3 guesses. I get 10 minutes when he's done reading the ad, and I can potentially ask for a couple of hints between guesses should I not get it correct. I'm ready. I'm on a cold streak. I'll see if I can bail myself out of this. Chadwick, ready to bring the heat?
We are. I don't have my spectacles with me, so it's going to be a little challenging reading this ad. It is horrible font. But let's go here. This has got the 2-page spread, if you will. Also a sex position.
Full spread?
Yeah, the full Monty. So the vehicle is kind of in the upper quadrant. It's a nice driver's side 3/4 shot that we love. Really
Popular.
nice, solid looking vehicle, looking really good in the photo. And then there's their rear 3/4 passenger side angle at the bottom. And then some kind of measuring device. It looks like I believe it's called a compass.
A speculum.
Not like a,
Oh.
yes, it's a, it's a sex swing, I think. But
Okay,
let's
leather,
go.
nice.
Let's go here. So introducing the blank, the brainchild of 1,400 brains.
Gee.
Six years ago, 1,400 of Blank's top engineers set out to build an entirely new automobile. They began by taking 2 steps. First, they accepted the premise that the world already had I can't read this. It's so blurry. We'll just say a surplus of very good high performance. I can't give this away. Luxury blanks. They accepted the challenge to build one a quantum leap better.
Oh,
It's a scientific
good show, by the
measure.
way. Quantum Leap.
Yeah, fantastic. I'm retarded. Sorry for that one scene.
We apologize to those listening at home.
Sorry. Such is the thinking that's gone into the blank. Take, for example, the very first thing about this automobile that greets your eyes. Its design. Clever. Here, our engineers have ingeniously managed to reconcile aesthetics with aerodynamics, creating an elegantly contoured luxury blank that also happens to have one of the lowest drag coefficients of any car in America. A mere 0.29. Just as surprising. The blank is equipped with a 4-cam, 32 valve, 250 horsepower V8 engine. For most engineers,
I think I know it, by the way.
I
was waiting on that confirmation just because it just feels I can
you
feel
might
it
be
in my
wrong though.
bones.
You
I might be wrong. I might be horribly wrong.
I left some blanks in there for a reason. For most engineers to achieve the kind of this kind of muscle in a car, let alone in a luxury blank, that's where those blanks are coming in, kind of keeping it trippy for you, would be cause enough to celebrate. For blank engineers, it was just cause enough to come up with another brainstorm. Turn the key and listen. What do you hear? Not much of anything, because our engineers have found a way to combine extreme power with extreme quiet. That's my bedroom review. Of course, we've also given, that's not true. Neither parts of that. It's loud and not impressive. Luxury to shatter the silence.
Noisily disappointing.
The blank, speaking of endowed, the blank is endowed with a choice between 2 of the finest audio systems possible. And I'm not going to read them because you already know.
Is one of them Mark Levinson?
No.
Nakamichi.
No comment. You'll find an almost obsessive amount of thought went into other aspects of the car's interior as well. Lavished in California walnut. That's interesting. Graced, if you choose, with leather trim and seats, and provided with a standard driver's side airbag, supplemental restraint system, SRS, as you know. The blank's cabin is a rare pleasure to enter.
Oh boy.
Blah. There's a phone number.
A lot of innuendo in this.
Yeah, you'll find that he's extremely knowledgeable and able to answer all your questions. Bullshit. We're going to call that number. And that's actually probably still a number we shouldn't call.
No, we're calling it.
Not all our top brains are engineers. Okay, I don't even have to start the clock. Frank, what are we talking about today?
I believe we're talking about I'm going to say 1992. Lexus SC 400. Final answer?
This is not the SC 400. Is not the brainchild of 1,400 brains. Only about 1,200. No, not the SC 400. I told you. This is a spicy one.
Well, then is it that? Then
Maybe get the clock going.
Well, no. I suppose it's the LS 400. This is the Lexus LS 400.
What year?
Let's go 1990.
Introducing the Lexus LS 400, the brainchild of 1,400 brains. This print ad was the very first one from 1989.
Okay,
which was
so in my head, the way the coefficient of drag and the talking about the sculpting, and when you were blanking, in my mind you were blanking coupe.
Yep,
the word you were blanking was coupe, and I'm assuming it said sedan.
You had a 50, it did every time. You had a 50-50 chance. Good job. I knew you were going to nail this. These early, I think out of all the LSs, my favorite is still the 400. I love the 430 and all the refinements like yours. It's like obviously a more refined vehicle. But there's just something about these early ones I really, really dig on.
The 430 is the better vehicle.
Of course.
400 is the more impactful,
just an
historically brilliant piece of machinery and marketing. If you think about how well that thing was marketed, talking about that ad,
we're looking at it,
or just all of the old commercials, the commercial with it on the dyno, doing 100 miles an hour on the dyno with like the stack of champagne glasses balancing on the engine on the dyno, and it just sitting there. Or I think it was a little bit later, but they had remember the ball bearing ad where the ball bearing was like rolling around on all the gaps, and showing how perfect the gaps. Just the launch of Lexus, I think, should be, I don't know, I'm not a business school guy, but I feel like just general marketing and business and how to construct something not out of nothing, because Toyota Motor Corporation was very much something,
exactly,
but just building a brand in a way that is still incredibly, they took it out from nothing into what it is, and that car specifically is the main reason why is that original LS.
Yeah, and I did some business school stuff, so I'll chime in on that side of the puzzle. I didn't take too much marketing, but honestly, I think what really solidified Lexus is the LS 400. What a way to launch the whole platform of Lexus, but also the second car, the ES. I mean, how genius was to take a super successful sedan from Toyota and just Lexify it. It was going to sell. It's going to sell far more than this because the price point was less than half. And just what a great combination. Like and
the SC
right.
too.
Yeah, I mean, you covered all your bases, right? But I mean, you had your mass market one, you had your like kind of sporty one, and you had your full size luxury one. It's like genius rollout for Lexus, and they're still doing pretty good today, man. So,
no, they're doing good. That the more and more I see it, the new GX,
we're gonna have one. I think we're gonna get the Overtrail.
See, already shopping.
I think we've been looking at it pretty hard, and my wife's adamant on Nori Green
because it's the only way to have it.
Pearl. Yeah,
let's go.
It's gonna get there, but I'm in love with that GX we have right now. It's
good.
It's fucking unbelievable, dude. I'm like, I have to drive the GX today. Comfort.
Womp. Have you had to do any work on it? Do you have any? Was that a project car you've been looking to talk about progress on, perhaps?
No, like as shocking as it is that I purchased a vehicle that didn't need a complete 40-hour work week into, the Lexus does not require any of that kind of work. But that other Japanese luxury brand Acura behind me has needed some work, my friend. And it's, it wasn't anything catastrophic. It was turning into a daily, and me and my preventive maintenance. So that needed some PCP, some project car progress to be reported upon. And for this week, my friend, I did a lot of the under the hood maintenance stuff, the go-tos, if you will. So valve cover gasket, replace that, easy enough. Spark plugs. There's nothing more like confidence inspiring. A car's been taken care of when you take the spark plugs out and the OEM recommended ones are in there. So the NGK iridiums and the right, heat range and everything. I love seeing that stuff because someone went to the measure of either taking it to a dealership to be serviced or did the proper research to put the right plugs. It all starts there, right? So new plugs in, new air filter, oil change, and transmission fluid, my friend. Nice. So it's all routine maintenance and just getting it up to snuff. And I can't wait. So hopefully this weekend I get it back I get to put the wheels back on, take it off the lift, and I'm going to start driving the shit out of it.
What is that? What fluid does that box take?
So it takes just a regular Honda manual transmission fluid, MTF.
Cool.
So,
okay. No red line. It's not like I know some of the Ford boxes run ATF.
No, on this one, it's like the Hondas from this period, especially those six-speed manual gearboxes. Some people put some synchro mesh in there if they start to get a little clunky, but this gearbox feels great. This is one of my favorite six-speed manual gearboxes. Honda, very similar to the 03 Accord V6 I had. Very, very nice movements, and God, I love the K24, dude. It's such a good motor. 205 horsepower out of a high revving 4-cylinder. It's already case
swap, bro.
Yeah,
you're gonna put like 170 millimeter turbo on it or something.
Bonkers. Oh God, I'm just gonna run NOS to it. Fuck
just
it.
Clearance the hood. Yeah.
What a cool car though, right from the factory. And they called it the sports sedan. I think that's like a super applicable term for a 6-speed manual with a high revving VTEC engine. I think
Hell
that's
yeah, brother.
exactly what it is. But that was my project car progress. Finding time to work in the garage has been pretty challenging, but that's it, man. Got some solid stuff done. Now, how about you, man? Have you gotten any project car progress out of the way?
Very little.
Okay.
I got rid of a car that wasn't mine, so that's good because that's the role I've been doing lately. So the very beaterish Mazda Protege 5 of my brother and sister-in-law.
It's a
I
while
got
ago that we talked about that. Yeah.
we did, but I finally sold it last night. $2,200.
Nice.
It's down the road, easy. So it's gone. It was a young serviceman. He's got okay. How about this? Young, and you might be able to relate here. Young
It's been a while.
young army gentleman.
Yeah.
Has a wife and a child and a dog.
Oh,
What is his car that he pulled up in?
Hellcat. No, I'm just kidding. Am I
But
close?
Yeah, it's a 22 Mustang Mach 1.
I was gonna say it was a Mustang. Damn it.
And but that's exactly it. He's like, yeah, I've got this, and like my wife's got a work van, but we need something to like comfortably take the dog and the kid in, and it's like we just need something cheap for the weekend. I'm like, this car's perfect for that. Like, it's
Dude,
mechanically super tight.
he has a
It's beat
Mach
up.
1?
Yeah.
Like the newer one?
Yes.
Dude, what happened to the military? When I was driving like a Corsica. My buddy had a Dodge Shadow. My other buddy had a first gen Neon. This is not a joke. This is what we could afford.
He's probably got like a 28% loan on it. I don't know that he doesn't. Yeah. I was
making $5 a day back when I was in, but yeah, okay.
You were hawking MREs on the side.
Yeah, people did that.
Exactly. Meals ready to sell. The yeah, like the whole, I don't know, but it was just funny. So it's good home. He was a good dude.
Nice.
He paid by Zelle, which always sketches me out a little bit, but we sat there and it cleared. And I was like, I even told him, I was like, bro, if you steal this car because like the Zelle doesn't go through, like I'm ashamed of you. This is a car that you shouldn't be stealing. Like you got set your aim higher, dude. And it worked. That payment went through and it was fine. But so that car's gone. The only other thing I got the new Speedo,
look at that.
So this is a cluster of the 924 behind me. It was making a bunch of noise, and the regular odometer was fine, but the trip was gonna be in catchy. It would get to 9 and then stop. And so, but the rest of the odometer is fine. So I pulled it out because I was gonna change this face, but it turns out, as I found out, on my NA car, these faces, because there's little cracks in it. I don't know if you can see.
I could see the cracks. I was kind of,
there it is. Yeah.
Look at that.
And I was like, well, shit. I was like, it's noisy. I might as well pull it, replace the face, and replace the plastic gear that always fails on these.
They do that. One or two teeth usually break, right? And then it doesn't.
Yeah. And this gear looked okay. The one I pulled out of it. So maybe it's been replaced already. I don't know. But what I did find out is this is already this, like, I don't know if this is a marker. It's a marker. It's not like,
okay.
Seems so, but it's already like been.
It's not thread locked.
It's not thread locked, but it's like whatever. If there was on here, it's gone. So this has been out before, and this when I found out this face, I was like, oh, I'll just order a face. This is not factory. So the original ones are domed out with like a little like plastic nipple on the end. That's how it is in my NA car. Not in this car. So somebody has put these flat faces on it, and nobody like makes reproduction. People are like, people in forums like, oh yeah, you have to go to like Tap Plastics and cut it. I'm like, God damn it, I'm not doing that shit. Like I'm trying to get rid of this car. I'm over it. I'm not gonna like have a new plastic face on it. So I just putting it back together. I'm gonna put it back in. But I got the gear back in, and it's ready to go back in.
Sweet, dude.
And then I have to figure out the no start condition it's developed since it's rolled into this. I drove it in the garage just fine.
Parked.
Exactly. And so I got to figure out why it's got no power going to anything. So that's the splash of project car progress that I have made, and nothing else.
Yeah, good.
I do want to a quick shout out to a listener, a friend of the pod. I don't know if you saw, but our friend, my friend, your friend, Mr. John Greco, who we know from the. I'm wearing my appropriate sweatshirt here. from the various DWA Driving While Awesome rallies. He sent us a very nice note after our episode, the year-end episode on Instagram, and I saw it. I didn't get a chance to read the whole thing or fully respond because I've been busy as all get out, not fixing my own damn cars. But we generally appreciate, genuinely, he tried to say, appreciate love notes. And so shout out to John Greco. I'm glad you're listening. Anyone else wants to even just send us like horribly offensive, nasty notes and berate us, that's cool too.
Try to balance out because John is like genuinely such a nice guy.
He's
dude.
maybe the nicest human I've met in my entire life.
He is. So we got to balance that sweetness. Someone said something mildly threatening or, horrible, to balance that out. We'd appreciate that.
Yes. I want like a Brett Favre junk pick. Anything. I mean, I don't want that, but like I expect
with some Wrangler jeans on.
Exactly. I'm comfortable in jeans that, like, I don't know, show off my unit. I'm comfortable in Wrangler.
My trouser snake.
I'm comfortable in what did he stole a bunch of money from? Was it Mississippi State? I don't know. There's some embezzlement thing. It's complicated. If you want to embezzle money our way, or more importantly, embezzle your listening, please continue to do so and support the pod. Maybe one day we'll get you know what we should do? We should get
paid for this.
We should get paid. Oh, I can't wait. Do we have enough time? Can we call the number on the ad?
What's not? Because it's straight up 800 USA Lexus. It's definitely still a Lexus.
Probably.
Number. Yeah.
Will someone answer? Okay, fine.
Yeah,
we'll save that. We'll save that for the next Lexus ad.
Number one in customer service.
Probably. We are not number one in customer service. We should practice though. What I was getting at is we should practice ad reads, so one day it will look palatable to future advertisers, because currently we're the plague for advertising.
Horrible.
Yeah. And so I don't know, maybe we'll have to do that. Until then, thank everyone here for listening. If you do want to leave us love notes or check in on our abandoned Instagram page, you're welcome to do so. That's at APA Podcast on the Instagram. Feel free to also watch along on the YouTubes. Just search up another Pointless Automotive Podcast. There, you shouldn't look up anything I'm up to. If you want to stalk me, I'm the Photographer's Garage on things. How about you there, Chadwick?
Auto Obsessive Garage for all your rescues, restorations, and reviews. Mostly ship boxes, and I'm few and far between. I'm trying to catch up. And same thing on Instagram, if so you wish. But yeah,
if so you wish,
continue listening. Obviously rate the show, leave us some feedback. We appreciate that. And we love you guys using your limited time to hang out with us. And yeah, as always, I guess we'll see you guys next time.
Catch you on the flip side, bro.
Love you. Take care.